And we are wrestling with AEW Revolution. Took place last Saturday on at Los Angeles, California, at the formerly known as the Staples Center Arena. Attendance was 12,590. Definitely a good modest crowd for AEW event. Not in they said it was sold out, but that's not full capacity for the Staples Center. I believe Staples Center could hold up to 17,000 people. So I mean a good modest crowd for sure, but still just have to throw that out there. And yeah, this show was so long. It's still going on. That's why Kaliko's not with us this week. He's still at AEW um Revolution. He's still there, still in the crowd, still cheering. So yeah, I mean, it took me 3 days to actually finish this show. And yeah, it was a show. No, I didn't watch the pre-show, so that excluded three matches. Technically two, because the third match went into the. I felt this show was really long. Like I said, it took me 3 days to finish it. 4.5 hours is a big commitment at this point. Um, it was AEW doing AEW stuff. I could appreciate where they, pulled off all the stops and they had, a lot of surprises. But then it just kind of becomes, if there's a surprise in every single match, that means there's been no surprises on the whole show. If that makes sense to you. Um, yeah, so that's kind of how I felt about that. But yeah, let's get into it. First match out. The show started with the ending of the Blackjack Battle Royal for the national championship. Jack Perry defeated Ricochet to end the match at the beginning of the show. Um, it only it only lasted 5 minutes on the actual show of the show so 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 so. Um, but yeah, I'm really getting sick of AEW. You gotta finish. You have to pay for the finish, pal. Uh, like if it's on the pre-show, let it just be on the pre-show. Give the people, the result. Don't need to join a match impromptu as they're going on air every fucking time they have a paid preview. It's kind of getting boring. I get that they tried it once and it actually worked once. But just because something works once doesn't mean that you should repeatedly do it over and over again. The only saving grace was that it was maybe like 5 minutes on the actual card, so I'm not necessarily too mad at it. Hate both guys. Wondering why Jack Perry reformed his tag team with Lunchasaurus so he can be a singles champion. Makes no absolute sense to me, but AEW logic for you. Um, can I really rate this? 2 stars, I suppose. Um, that goes into our first proper match of the show. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Fuck the Revival, Dax Hardwood and Cass Wheeler defeated the Young Fucks, Matt and Nicholas Jackoff, in 18 minutes and 50 seconds. Um, I thought it was a sweet little moment when the Bucks came out with all of their kids, getting that California hometown pop. Um, so yeah, they really hammed it up for the crowd. The crowd was into it for obvious reasons. I thought that there was unnecessary use of blood, but okay. Um, I thought that the match should have ended at the point where Stokely held one of their I think it was, yeah, Nick's leg, so they wasn't able to do the Meltzer driver, and FTR hit um what do they call that? Big rig. Big rig? Yeah, let's go with that. Um if that would have been the ending of the match, I would have said Chef's Kiss, 4 stars. But being the Young Bucks and, so self indulgent, the match had to continue for another 10 minutes. And fuck me. Why did it need to continuously go? There was literally no fucking reason for it other than they wanted to. They wanted, all the false finishes, all the, you know, all the dramatics. And I mean, they got it, but, it soured me on the match because it was not needed. They could have finished 5 minutes earlier and it would have had the same effect if they would have gone home when they did. So yeah, not definitely not impressed with this match. Um, I did call this match. I did say FTR was going to win, and the third thing I said about this match was they wasn't going to drop the titles until Edge and Christian came back. And guess what? Edge and Christian came back at the end of the match. So yeah, wasn't the worst match on the card. 3 stars. Um, Next match we have everyone is banned from ringside match. Toni Storm defeated Marina Shafir in 9 minutes 50 seconds. Got in, got out quickly, did what it needed to do in the time allowed it. Um, Made Marina look strong with and still beating her at the same time. Um, Then you had Ronda Rousey come in at the end, and people are saying that she's a part of the company now. I didn't see anything official. I would say that was just kind of running. And with Toni Storm now injured, I don't see what they would be doing with Ronda at this point. Now, obviously, your big attraction is Ronda versus Toni, and that's obviously not going to happen as of right now. I mean, she called her back. Ronda got into the ring. She called Toni back into the ring, who was on the ramp at this point. Toni got back in the ring, and then security and the referees got broke them up, even though there wasn't any signs of any type of altercation between the two of them. They did not throw fists. They didn't even seem like they were in a position to throw fists. Like they were just looking at each other seriously. It was kind of weird that, all of that was just done to invoke Marina getting a bit of comeuppance against Toni and hitting her in the back while everybody was kind of distracted. Um, don't really know why we needed that, but it was on the card. But yeah, I don't really know what to do with that. Um, if we're just talking about the match itself, just I give it 3.5 stars. It did what it knew what it was, it knew what it needed to do, and it did it, and it executed. Everything with Ronda Rousey, maybe not so much. Um, just a weird segment. Um, Speaking of transitions, the transition to that into the next match was really weird because as Marina was making her way to the back through the crowd, Moxley was making his way to the ring for his match, which kind of didn't give him the proper, pop that he could have had if they would have just, played his music. Again, very weird. Bad, you know, transition, in my opinion. But that was the transition into the no time limit match for the AEW Continental Breakfast Championship. John Moxley defeated Colt Kutska, takes Shida in 23 minutes 25 seconds. Um, it was a match on the card, I suppose. I mean, I don't see what losing to Moxley did for Konosuke. I don't see what beating Konosuke did for Moxley. Um, it was just it was long for no other reason than it needed to be long. They needed to be over 20 minutes to say, "Oh, they went over the time limit." Oh my god. Um, to justify not having a time limit on the match. Um, there was blood, so that sucked. God forbid Moxley be in a match without blood, but I digress. And then yeah, it was just, random John Moxley bullshit. And then Will Ospreay came out and attacked the Death Riders and John Moxley. Despite being a good John Moxley again, um Will Ospreay is coming after Will Moxley because he's the one that supposedly put him on the shelf, even though he had to go for surgery anyway. I don't know. But yeah, his targets are on Moxley, even though they're both faces. I kind of get where, it makes perfect sense for Will Ospreay to want to get after Moxley after, he believes he put him on the shelf, but it doesn't make sense when that guy is now, seeing the error of his ways and turning a new leaf and trying to be a good John Moxley again. The match as a whole, I would say 3 stars, but Konosuke had blood, so 2.5. Alright, we have Divine Dominion, Megan Payne and Lena Cross defeating the Babes of Wrath to capture the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships in 5 minutes. Damn, the girls do not get a lot of time on these cards. You know, the men, get all of the mental masturbation, and the girls get no masturbation. No. Whereas give women a chance, or give divas a chance, or give AEW women a chance. Like shit. Um, Toni gets 9 minutes. Babes of Wrath get 5 minutes. John Moxley gets 25 minutes. The Young Bucks gets 20 minutes. Like, you could have saved at least 2 minutes of time off of both of those matches and gave the Babes of Wrath 7 minutes or 10 minutes. It's just, so self indulgent, it's not even funny. But yeah, like the Toni Storm match, got in, got out, did what it needed to do. Made sense because Lena lost the first match on the pre-show card, so I couldn't make Lena look like the biggest fucking loser in all of AEW. So, give her a belt here. Um, I don't know what that does for them winning tag team gold, especially Megan. Um, but I mean, they're women's tag team champions now. So I mean, Tony definitely feels like it means something to someone somewhere in the world. Um, you know, you know what? A star a minute, 5 stars. If you don't entertain yourself, nobody will. AEW definitely won't do it. All right, we have Swivel Strickland defeating Brody Burger King and 14 minutes 50 seconds. I actually like this match. I think Swerve did a really good job of upplaying, Brody King as a monster, and him being the heel and trying to get his best comeuppance against Brody. The crowd was into this. The crowd's into Brody for sure. Um, Definitely has that babyface energy. Um, they did a lot of shenanigans. And at the end, Swerve got the W. Was going to put Brody King's head through a brick. How dare he? Um, and then Kenny Omega came out and made the save, renewing their rivalry when he tried to take Kenny out. So, are you sensing a theme here? Edge and Christian came out after um, the FTR match. Ronda Rousey came out after Toni Storm's match. Uh, Osprey came out after Moxley's match. Only the Girls Tag Team match didn't get a run in. Um, I mean, it sucks to them that they didn't feel that they were important enough, but I digress. But yeah, um, I felt that this worked for whatever reason. 3 stars? No, 3.5. 3.5 stars. I feel like that's a significant, a good amount for these guys. Right. We have a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW Women's Championship match. Cluck 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 defeated Chris Statlander 2-1 in 17 minutes 30 seconds, and I actually really liked this match. I thought the girls really did a good job on this one. Um, you know, Tekla getting the dirty W on the force to be one up on Chris. Chris getting a clean W on Claw 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 for the second, and then the shenanigans catching up to Chris and the end. She got some comeuppance against Claw Claw. Um, um, she got to whip her with the belt. The referee got up, said, "Hey, you can't do that." Claw took you know, advantage of the distraction, got the 1, 2, 3 on Chris. Great heel move. Um, Still showed, Chris Statlander in a great light. The girl is a star, and she needs. We need to give this girl her flowers because she does work really hard for this company, and she's actually putting on like the legitimately only good matches on the card. And I feel like it kind of just gets buried under all of this, bullshit. This was arguably the best match on the card, in my opinion. There was psychology. They wrestled. They didn't do anything, relatively crazy. It was as cut and dry of a traditional, 2 out of 3 falls match that you should have. And I think that they executed it very well. I I will give this 4.5 stars. This was again the best match on the card, in my opinion. Right. That brings us to trios match for the AEW World Trios Championship. Mystico and Jet Speed, Speed Testicle Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight defeated Kazuchika Okaya, Kyle Flatulence, and no insulting nickname Mark Davis. In 17 minutes 10 seconds. Did not need this match to go as long as it did for whatever reason. It went 17 minutes. I have no fucking idea. Um, but yeah, it doesn't. It was a match on the card. It happened. It was too long. Um, I get they wanted Mystico on the card, but they could have did it like this could have been the 5 minute match, and could have gave the Babers of Rat, a little bit more time and a little bit more grace. But I digress. Um, yeah, and I felt like there was no. It was just a. It was just a match, honestly. Um, yeah, I can't really say anything other than it was your random dynamite match on a pay preview card. 2 and 7/5. Like, I don't really want to give this a 3, but I don't think it was as bad to give it um a 2.5. Yeah. Then we have Andrade El Idaho defeating Bandito in 21 minutes. Fuck me, that match went 21 minutes. I cannot tell you because I did not watch this match. I needed something to speed up, and less of a fuck I could not give about Bandito or Andrade. So if I'm not invested, if I do not give a flying fuck about something, then I'm probably not going to watch. And these guys did not give me any flying fucks to give. So, yeah. Um, 2 fast forward bars ahead. Then we have a Tornado Trios match. We have Debbie Allen, freshly pooped Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong defeating the Dogs. David Finley, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors in 12 minutes, 25 seconds. The best thing I could say about this match is that it was quick. 13 minutes in and out. Um, I mean, it was, crazy Darby shit, crazy. Apparently, tornado means, no disqualifications. I did not get that before, but again, it's AEW. So that makes perfect sense for them. So yeah, I'm surprised that Darby and company actually won. Not saying that I'm mad at it by any means. Just saying I'm surprised. Can't really say much more about it, honestly. It was a match on the card. And obviously, they don't think too much highly of David Finlay if they didn't give him a W in his first month in the company. And he's always taken L's, but, I digress. I heard his brother's doing really well in Fortnite right now with his father actually, with them. Um, so yeah, it was less than the trios match. 3 stars. Did anybody bleed in that match? I can't remember. Then we have the main event. Um, 4 hours, 3.5 hours, honestly, into the show. And then we're going to have a 45-minute match to end it all. I'm sure that people are fighting sleep at this time. They've been there for 5 hours, like in total, and like fuck me. But yeah, I don't see where like people had energy to give after this point, unless like they they sprayed cocaine into the arena to get people active and jumping again. I mean, it's just too much, and people have families to go to back to. Like, my God, man, what's your humanity? Texas death match. Um, if Hangman Page loses, he will never challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. MJF defeated Hangman Page in 46 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, they literally did shit just for the sake of doing shit. Honestly, like they literally threw the kitchen sink at each other for the sake of throwing the kitchen sink into each other. Like the, I would say the biggest, most distasteful spot was when they did the dumb tack jack, spot with the syringe in Hangman's Page's amount where MJF took the syringe, put it in his mouth, and then sprayed the contents, out when it was piercing his cheek. Um, I don't know what it was like being there. I'm sure if Kaliko was here, he would tell us. But from my perspective as a viewer, I kind of felt like there was a breath of air that kind of left the arena, and you could kind of see that a lot of people were uncomfortable with it. Um, and there was children crying you know, um, in the in the ringside area, in the stands, I should say. So, I mean, I can't really blame AEW for doing it when there was kids around them. Like, I mean, I blame the parents for that. Like, you know what kind of shit these people do, and you're still choosing to bring your children. It's literally in the title of the match, a Texas death match, and you brought your child to it. Like, I mean, AEW has never necessarily been family friendly. So, I mean, this is not a surprise. But I thought it was a shameless, spot that really didn't do anything for the match. Because the match went on for like another 20 minutes. Like, if that was the ending of the match, was, okay, well, he put a syringe in his mouth and then he fucking clobbered him, then, that would have been, a memorable end to the match. But then they go 15 more minutes and, nothing. you even forget that that spot happened because they did more stupid shit that it lost its impact, even if it had impact. And it didn't have any impact. But, I mentioned, at the top of the segment, the thumbtack jack spot. For anybody that doesn't know, the thumbtack jack spot was between a wrestler named Thumbtack Jack and um of a DJ Hyde. There you go, DJ Hyde. In a tournament of that four, I want to say it was tournament of that match. DJ Hyde proceeded to take a syringe, put it into Jack's mouth, and like very much like the spot that it he had with MJF. But what DJ Hyde proceeded to do, the contents of that syringe was lighter fluid. So when he sprayed the the fluid, it went onto a table that DJ Hyde proceeded to light on fire, which then proceeded to be the finals of the match. So there was, content. It 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 played into the ending of the match that made it memorable. It wasn't just a throwaway spot, just to be doing to be honoring other bullshit. That matches that came before it, but you're not even doing them justice because you're just doing, random bullshit. They did a glass spot. They did light tubes. Um, Lots of barbed wire. And I mean, and then the finish, I mean, it went so long, like 45 minutes, and it was just, mental masturbation of things that they wanted to do that didn't connect well. And, you just kind of lose, interest at that point. Like, when is this going to fucking end? Like, seriously. And then when you actually get to the end, it falls flat because it really didn't, do, and it wasn't anything significant compared to what they had been doing for the last 45 minutes. That's AEW logic, and I'll guarantee you that Tony Khan thought it was the best shit in the world, and it most certainly was not. These guys, you know, put a shortage on their career for a bad match. Like, I mean, when not Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Mankind, when he did, you know, the Hell in a Cell match, you know, yeah, he he more or less, put his career, he ended his career earlier because of that match. But that being said, it was memorable, and people remember it to this day. So I mean, yeah, he badly damaged his body, but it was for a moment that people will remember forever in infamy. I'll forget about this match after I'm done talking about it. And that's, a shame because, like, as much shit as I give MJF, like, he didn't deserve to be in this match. Hangman obviously wanted to, likes doing matches like that, and, like, fuck him for doing it because, like, he's not good at them. I think I've I think I've said on this match enough. So I'm just going to say 2 stars and get out of here. So as a whole, wasn't their worst. Definitely wasn't their best. I wonder how I'd feel if this was, if I watched this 4 hours in total rather than spreading it out after over 3 days like I did. Thumbs in the middle. Alright, that'll conclude our coverage of AEW Revolution and this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. Vote on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for our interviews with Joe Bravo and Mo Kelly. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. And you can follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. And for Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.